I'm Paul Wyatt with CMS Technologies. For companies that have a problem keeping track of computer equipment or if it's getting stolen, we take care of it.
I'm Betty Murphy, Creative Products Resource. And if you want to cut your trips to the dry cleaners in half, we've got a product for you.
Great. So who's going to get their 15 minutes of fame? You'll find out if you keep it right where it is. I'm Margot Lee, and Money Hunt is next.
Money Hunt is made possible by PricewaterhouseCoopers, committed to entrepreneurial ventures through a wide array of consulting and financial services. And by Fast Company magazine. Fast Company, the handbook of the business revolution. And Money Hunt is also brought to you by Yahoo Finance, an online resource for investing and personal finance.
Welcome to the crossroads of the American dream. I'm Miles Spencer. You ever wonder how tough it is to be an entrepreneur? Like convincing a total stranger you have a good business idea. Well, we take a snapshot of that very moment. We call it Money Hunt.
I'm Cliff Ennico. We scour the country for America's hottest entrepreneurs and set them up against America's toughest critics. They try to impress us. We try not to be impressed. At the end, we'll discuss their progress and challenges ahead with our Money Hunt mentor.
And that would be David Chapman, founder of North Point Group, leaders in risk management for the information and technology industry. Welcome back to Money Hunt, David.
Thank you.
It's good to have you back. Let's take on our first guest. It's Paul Wyatt. He's CFO of CMS Technologies.
Welcome to Money Hunt, Paul.
CMS is from Ann Arbor, Michigan, and has a computerized system to prevent theft of computer equipment. Paul was a guest on a previous Money Hunt episode and is here for an update. Paul, welcome to Money Hunt. Before we get into your update, let's just give a quick summary of what CMS does.
CMS provides a network-based combination of hardware and software to protect computer equipment that's on the network from theft or tampering.
As I recall, it works pretty much like a home security system. If each piece of equipment has a separate number attached to it, and if it moves anywhere without authorization, it goes to a centralized system, kind of like a police scanner, right?
Right. Our system installs on a network, so we don't actually put something on each individual computer, but we can detect any tampering with each computer on the network.
So someone tries to walk off with a laptop over the weekend or something, it just automatically triggers something.
Right.
Now, we made a tape, obviously, of your last appearance on Money Hunt. Let's take a look at that. Maybe we can learn something.
Has there been a lot of resistance to sales?
No, it's a long sales cycle. Security is a tough sell. People don't buy security every day. People hold off on security purchases oftentimes until an event happens. As we move into the corporate market, we see that changing, but we also see the need for an integrated solution with those other pieces of the puzzle.
Well, Paul, there's a couple other things that have changed your market since we've seen you last. One is the entry of a new enabling technology that's just beginning to come to market, which is the biometrics, looking at the thumbprint, looking at the eye, looking at the facial, and making that as comparison. Are you going to see that in your market? Is it going to impact your plan?
We see that only as a add-on product or a combined product with our system, providing for the authorized access to equipment. Since we're detecting the authorized access and release of equipment, we see utilizing the thumbprint, the facial features, whatever biometric catches on, as one of the keys to unlocking our system.
Now, in the risk section of your plan, you mentioned that your product only works with Ethernet networks, and this product has a finite lifespan. Are you putting yourself in a dead-end situation there?
At this point, no. Ethernet has actually expanded. It's over 90% of the installed network base, and Ethernet continues to grow because technologies are developed to increase the speeds at which those networks can operate, and so there's a large installed infrastructure of the cabling that we utilize that is really not going to change in the near future.
Paul, what happens, describe a little bit about how the system works. What happens when a call comes in?
Well, a call is generated when a computer is disconnected.
Right.
If somebody doesn't use a password to disable the system for a specific computer.
Right.
Then a report is generated, and that can occur either via
Right.
an email or a pager or a call to a security desk notifying the exact location.
Okay, but ultimately though, you have to rely on the customer's own security system to catch the bad guys.
Yes, we're really a system for detection and monitoring and tracking of the equipment, and there is a reliance on the customer to implement policies and procedures to respond to the information that we're providing.
Now,
Well, let's go back to the sales cycle again. I'm interested in that because that's such a serious issue for all companies, whether they're entrepreneurial or large companies in that. Can you tell us a little bit about what's happened? And in backlight of some research that we did last year, where about 4/5 of the customer's time when they're looking at technology is spent in looking at the risk of the implementation of technology, and only about 1/5 in the value. If you're going to reduce that sales cycle, you've got to focus on that value proposition up front. So tell us what you've done and tell us the progress you've made so far.
Well, over the course of the last year, we have picked up quite a few customers. We've added companies like General Motors and Levi Strauss and Princeton University to our list of customers. And with a background like that, we're able to walk into a new customer site and offer testimonials from these customers, provide them as reference sites, and that really eliminates a lot of that risk that you mentioned for evaluating a new technology.
What kind of feedback have you received from those blue chip customers that you've had that's helped you with other existing clients?
They've told us a lot about how they utilize the system, what their implementation plans are, what their response mechanisms are for any alarms and alerts, and we're able to formalize that in proposals that we then provide to new customers, so they can see exactly how the system's going to work and benefit them.
Yeah. So you said last year you're focusing on the large users, universities, Fortune 500 corporations. Do you see any pattern in the sort of people who bought the system so far?
We see a pattern in universities that they're really applying it to computer labs as opposed to their office environments. And in the corporate market, we're getting as much an interest in asset management and asset tracking as we are just a theft issue.
Yeah. Isn't there sort of like a diminishing returns here, though? Does it really make sense for a big company to have every little peripheral hooked up to this thing?
It really does. There are companies who claim that, I know AT&T once said that they are not sure whether they have 120,000 computers or 240,000 computers. They're trying to keep track of them as much as they are trying to prevent the theft, because they have leases, they have financial obligations to keep a hold of.
Another marketing and competition question. The key decision makers you need to get to in order to make your sale. What have you learned there since last year?
We've learned a lot about the group of people that really come into the decision-making process. The people who are going to be using the system day to day, the people who are making the money decisions, what their motives are, and what's really going to trigger them to make a buy decision.
Paul, there are hundreds of security firms in the country that are offering systems for business. How do you prevent them from getting into this market?
Well, we have a patented technology. We have a unique approach to providing security, and we really utilize that, and we're also using a direct sales approach in contrast to what we spoke about last year.
Now, the patent covers the circuitry, right, but it doesn't cover the whole system.
Right. The patent covers the system and the method for security.
And the method.
Yes. So we feel that we have some good protection there.
Paul, have you looked at the value propositions from last year to this year in terms of what you really provide the customer, identified what those are, and put that into your sales cycle as part of the reduction of the sales cycle? And the second part of that question is, have you reflected the reduction of sales cycle in your business plan that we have to demonstrate the additional profitability and margin that you can gain from that process?
Yes. Well, as I was indicating about asset management, asset tracking, some of those features we've learned a lot about, and including the benefits of those and estimating or evaluating those for customers has allowed us to really present them with a better cost-benefit analysis for what an investment in our system is going to provide them.
So what do you tell them the cost-benefit analysis looks like?
That looks like keeping track of all of your equipment, reducing the cost for every visit that you have to make to a PC to determine whether it's still there, what its configuration is, make sure that you've still got all the assets on hand, because companies are conducting physical inventory counts 1 to 5 times a year that they're sending people out across the company to perform.
Very expensive, and you're throwing a lot of tough words around there. Let's get down to what it really is all about, making money, your exit strategy. We didn't talk about it too much last year. What are your plans for getting liquidity eventually for you and your group of shareholders?
Well, we obviously have a lot of shareholders who are interested in seeing us perform well. and they would like to see a liquidity event at some point down the line.
What's the most likely one?
Most likely is probably going to be some type of a public offering. We've considered mergers, we've considered other activities that would provide that liquidity, but really at this point, it's the IPO that we see in a couple of years.
Great presentation, and you can track Paul's progress and the company, CMS, on our website at www.moneyhunt.com. When we come back, an update from a money hunter who refused to wrinkle while raising her funds.
It was 1953, and David Mullaney was watching his son play stickball with a broom handle and some plastic golf balls. Noticing the ball didn't travel far, he wondered if he could make a ball that was suited to the small backyards of suburbia. Using a razor, Mullaney went to work. He named the result Wiffle, after the slang term for a strikeout. David Mullaney, Wiffle ball. What a great idea!
Welcome back to Money Hunt. Before our second entrepreneur, let's answer some viewer questions that were posted to our website at www.moneyhunt.com. Pete Pugsley from New York watches us on WNET, and he writes, I have a car wash business, but I have invented an exceptional car deodorizer product. Should I seek a patent immediately or test it at my place and gauge reaction? First of all, Pete, you should make sure you have a viable business. Try it out at your place, see if it sells. But once you decide you got a viable business going, get that patent immediately. Spend whatever it takes. Because once a product becomes popular, knockoffs just come out of the woods, and you'll really need the protection at that point. Now it's time for one of my personal favorite money hunters. Her name is Betty Jagoda Murphy from Creative Products Resource in New Jersey. Creative Products Resource is a product development firm that's based in North Caldwell, New Jersey, and they have manufactured and market a home dry cleaning product. Betty, welcome back to Money Hunt.
Nice to be here.
Before we talk about your update, why don't we give the folks a little sense of what your company does?
Sure. Creative Products Resource is a new product development and marketing company, and we develop household products, health and beauty aid products, and drug delivery systems. We're currently marketing our custom cleaner home dry cleaning kit.
And you develop products for some of the real top companies, Fortune 500 and that sort of thing. But tell us about the product that you've launched in this year.
Custom Cleaner is the first product that lets you dry clean your clothes and maintain dry clean only garments and hand washable sweaters at home. It not only removes spots, but it will deodorize and refresh and keep your clothes ready to wear just when you need them.
Now, of course, Betty, since your last visit, we made a videotape. And if we'd roll that, maybe we could learn a little bit about your progress since then.
Great.
How do you go about getting shelf space? Because this is a new product category, doesn't this thing get lost with everything else that's out there in the laundry aisle?
Cliff, that was one of the questions people always asked. Okay, how are you going to get there? We are now in 2,600 stores. The resistance from the buyers has been almost nil because we're offering them brand new revenue.
Begs the question, is the resistance still there?
There is no resistance. We have, of course, you have to go and present your product to the buyers of all the chains, but we have become available in every supermarket chain all through the Northeast, as far west as Buffalo, Pittsburgh. We've opened Chicago, and we've opened Florida.
Now, you mentioned 2,600 stores at the time. How's that changed?
Oh, we're well over 4,000 stores now. There is not a supermarket chain that we are not available in now in our distribution area, and we're the #1 selling specialty laundry product.
Do you find there's any kind of pattern in the customers who buy the products?
Basically, it's anybody who wants to cut down some of their trips to the dry cleaners because, of course, the product's not going to eliminate the dry cleaners, but it will cut down the price and cut down the hassle of dry cleaning.
Well, that begs the question, Betty, about the retail market, and that is that one thing we know, and that is the retail market really loves the 100% solution. And if you don't have the 100% solution, then you've got to have something that's very clear in the mind of the buyer. So how have you addressed this, and what have you done, and what do you plan to do?
It's really a great question. We recognized early on that a product that was made for consumers to be used in the home was not going to be able to do everything. We were not going to use any harsh chlorinated solvents like the dry cleaners use. So we took a tagline that says, cut your trips to the dry cleaners in half. And we're going to take care of the majority of the kinds of clothes that you need to take to the cleaners for freshening up or a couple of spots.
Because I can relate to that. I really hate going to the dry cleaner when I've only got one thing to go. I mean,
you're my guy.
Exactly. But this is a whole new product category. You know, and last year when we had you on the show, I mean, you guys had the marketplace all to yourself. Has that changed in the last year?
We have the marketplace to ourselves still, although a very large company has come into test market with a similar concept as our product, but delivered in a different way.
Okay. Now, you're already on the ground. You said you tested the product in the Northeast. Are you planning to go national soon?
We're actually retailing in the Northeast. The test market's over, and we are selling, we're advertising, and we will be national by the end of '98.
How are you getting the message across, Betty?
We have TV advertising, we have FSI coupons. Those are the coupons in your Sunday newspaper. We're doing as much PR as we possibly can, and we have terrific word of mouth.
With just sort of one product in the marketplace right now, what's the follow-on? You're creating some shelf space for yourself. Do you have anything else in the works?
Yes. Obviously, if we're going to be the consumer products company that we say we're going to be, we can't be a one-product company. So we have line extensions ready to come out, and then we have a pipeline of products that will follow on, and it will be in skincare and other household cleaners.
But back to this product, one of the things that is attached so clearly to the retail market, this idea of one picture for a product. So if you had one picture you want to put in the mind of the buyer, what would it be? And where are you in the process of putting that picture in that mind?
And is this the buyer of the supermarket or our final user?
Your final end user customer.
The picture is that we are going to let you buy more dry clean only garments because you can maintain them and lengthen the time in between trips to the dry cleaners.
Now, at the time you were on last year, and obviously from your talent with the product, it's clear that you've been on maybe QVC or Home Shopping. Have you continued that, and has there been any conflict between that product and what you're rolling out at retail?
The direct marketing product that was on QVC is now phased out, and we're in with the retail product only, and we're going to go from the supermarkets. We've already got some national drug chains, and we're going to, of course, hit the mass merchandisers.
So Creative Products Resource started as a product development firm, and I see you're still doing work for Fortune 500 corporations. Well, how is the balance shifting at all between work for others and work to build our own brands?
Absolutely. We are right now 100% CPR, our own company, and not doing any outside work.
Well, now, Betty, it's interesting, and back to the Home Shopping and QVC type of marketing, a lot of other small companies look to that area to distribute their product, and obviously that's something that you've done, and you've elected to go elsewhere. Share for the other entrepreneurs what you learned from that situation.
I think that a QVC type direct marketing approach is terrific for the entrepreneur who has a product that is demonstrable. Demonstrably different products sell because you have a great presentation method. And it was a wonderful way for us to learn what is good about the product, what's great in the demonstration, what doesn't work, what makes people call in, and then you use those things for your advertising. But we're retail people, and so our goal was always to go to the retail market.
It sounds like you've really been clobbering the market, especially in the Northeast. Any idea about a potential acquisition down the road? I mean, is this something where you'd like to partner with somebody else, maybe down the road?
Certainly for international distribution, we would contemplate such a thing, and the future is always open.
Now, you've been through the process of being on a money hunt yourself, and there are a lot of entrepreneurs out there that are doing the same watching you today. Can you share with them some advice about that process and the challenges that you experienced?
Yes, I think the most important thing that I have learned is that you simply can't do everything. When you are an entrepreneur in a partnership, you do everything. Once you start to really build your company, get your business plan out, you have to learn that you need to attract the very best talent you can afford, even more than you can afford, to keep your company up, to have a committed team, and we share in our stock with our company, and everybody feels like they are part of the success.
One of the largest challenges of any company that's in the retail side of that is this issue of channels. And you've changed your channel strategy. And what advice would you give the other entrepreneurs about what you've learned of that and what you would do differently if you had to do it over again?
We went from the direct marketing, is that the channel you're referring to? We went for the direct marketing to retail, but that was always part of the strategy. Direct marketing is easier for an entrepreneur because you don't pay for the advertising. You get their advertising to do it. The strategy, though, was always to build a plan that would incorporate the monies needed for advertising to promote.
Because obviously in the end, you've got much more margin in the latter than you do in the former.
It's a good story.
Great presentation. Thanks for the update. You can track Betty's progress and find out more about her company on our website at www.moneyhunt.com. When we come back, our partners meeting.
The year was 1945, and General Electric was looking for a cheap and durable substitute for rubber. The result was too soft, but it bounced like crazy and could be stretched and pulled. Peter Hodgson asked if he could sell it in his new mail-order catalog. He named it Silly Putty, packaged it like an egg, and sold 32 million of them in 5 years. Silly Putty. Peter Hodgson. What a great idea.
Welcome back to Money Hunt. Our entrepreneurs are done with their pitches, so it's time for our analysis section. Our first Money Hunter was Paul Wyant from CMS. David, what do you think of Paul's progress, and what are his challenges ahead?
Well, I think he's made some progress in that respect to that, and I was pleased at least that they're tracking some of the new enabling technologies in that. The thing that they've got to worry about is they can't sell by ambulance chasing these companies that have had some sort of a ripoff and then go in there and sell the product and really make a viable business out of it. They've got to get this sales cycle and the value proposition so people will buy it without having had a catastrophe happen inside the enterprise. I think the second part of it is, looking through the future business plan, they're going to need another round of funding. And they've got to make sure that the metrics and the sales cycle that they have and how they're going to bring it down and how they're going to be able to take the margin, the gross margin improvement that they expect between 98 and 99, where are they going to get that from? And make that very clear to the potential investor.
I like Paul's presentation a lot. Security is a big issue for corporations, not-for-profits, and universities around the country. And I like the fact that this is a low-tech solution. It's simple to explain. It's like a home alarm system, yet it's also proprietary. It's a patented circuitry system. He has a lot of things going for him right now. I think I'd agree with Dave that the real goal here is to really build an established base of users that he can feed off of and sell a lot more stuff to.
Paul's come a long way since last year, and not just the close. Hired a new CEO, and we didn't talk about it much, but we did off camera. That's an important and critical element, pulling together that management team. And since the CEO came from the funding group, they were hesitant at first to bring him into the fold, but they've really developed as a team, and they've been able to turn over their trust to this guy.
I think that's really the most important point. I was really pleased to hear that because so many times the culture clashes and what have you. But it looks like he's integrated himself very well with the team, considering himself now part of the founding team. That's very important in that process.
But IPO as an exit strategy, I just wasn't buying that yet. So let's push on to our second Money Hunter, which was Betty Jagoda Murphy from Creative Products Resource. David, what do you think of her progress since last time as an expert in laundry, having a big coffee stain from last year to this year?
It was actually ink.
Okay.
Remember? Once again, I think progress there in terms of understanding what the value is and how they're going to separate that market. They don't have a 100% solution for all the dry cleaning, and recognizing that and admitting that is a very important part of that process. Now, it's not clear to me the one picture in the mind is less trips to the dry cleaners. To me, it makes the fact that when I do go there, I go there for a very important reason. Otherwise, I can take care of it some other way.
So you either eliminate the trips to the dry cleaner or you don't.
Or you've got an emergency that you really need to take care of.
Well,
exactly.
You'll recall that last year I was a little skeptical about this company. Whole new product category, market resistance, the whole 9 yards. Since then, I've not only followed Betty's progress, but I've also tried this product myself, and as the monkey's saying, I'm a believer. Her competitive picture has changed, but I really think it's the other guy who has to be worried.
She has done a tremendous job since last being here, and I was a skeptic as well. What I love about entrepreneurs, it comes through in Betty in shining colors. Product development and salesmanship. When entrepreneurs walk through that door and can just jump right to it, and that enthusiasm is so important. Actually, welcoming in new competition to the marketplace.
Fire in the belly.
She takes no prisoners, and she does not suffer fools gladly, and that is what you need to survive. You got to remember that this is one of the leading product development firms in the U.S., and I'm delighted that they are totally focused now on launching this product.
Also
and making
able
it a
to
success.
evolve and adapt, having been a product development firm, then on QVC, now pushing into the retail market. It's only fair to get a last word from our Money Hunters.
Thanks, Miles. Now we're going to turn to the entrepreneurs and get their response to the partners meeting. Betty, what did you think about the analysis?
I think that everybody is right on. I mean, how could I disagree with them saying that I've made the progress? And I think that